Hey everyone, welcome back to another entry in the Armor tutorial series for Arrow version 6. This video we're going to talk about the staff manager. That's got the little doctor guy icon here on the side. So, visiting it, you're going to see a list of active staff members. These are the ones who are actively allowed to log into your system currently. And it's got some basic information as well as their role. This should list, if they're an administrator, a manager, whatever other permission roles you set up. Here, you can edit their contact information, download their vCard, and hand them keys. This is for the locked data system. Basically, if you haven't seen that, we'll talk about that in another video, but it allows you to give them keys to decrypt data that you've stored in the locked data system. So, if you go to all staff, this will show you a list of everybody who's ever been able to log into your system. That way, since the data in the system is contingent on who has set it up, if somebody either quits or gets fired, you don't delete their entry, you just deactivate it. That way the data is still accurate and they'll show up in this list. That brings us over to the third tab, which is new staff. If you were here for our settings video, you'll remember I mentioned that you need a shop location because people are associated to it. That's this here. Otherwise, the only information that's absolutely necessary here is a first name, a last name, phone, and email, or email and password, not phone. And then you can fill out all of the other information if you choose, including the profile image, if they've got a website link, an alias, their address information, time clock pin if they're going to be able to log in and clock into your system, as well as their security level. And if they're going to be able to actively log in, you'll check this active member checkbox. So that brings us to our tool access page. And how this works is it will list every tool or module you have available. So you can see here, we've got POS. POS is here. Account is my account. Accounting is accounting. And it'll allow you to set access on a by permission level basis. So as you can see right here, the only permission level in our demo system is the administrator. And the administrator's got access to everything. But you could easily toggle this off so the administrator no longer has access to accounting. So that brings us to keys. Here, you'll have to create keys for the locked data system. These keys, like we mentioned earlier, are ways to decrypt data from the system. So we're going to make a couple here. And basically, you could hand these keys out on the staff page, and it'll allow them to decrypt data from within the locked data system. That brings us to the permissions. From permissions, you'll see all of the levels that are available. You can edit these at any time, although administrator can never be deleted. And when you're on the permissions page, it looks a lot like this. Our permission system is set up on a by action basis. This tool actually goes through and reads everything that the PHP code is allowed to do and lists them here. So as you can see, we're going to scroll down to the pages manager actually as a good example. So here, inside of the pages actions, we have the toggle, which toggles it enabled or disabled. If we're putting it in the header menu, the footer menu, if we're modifying the options, if we're modifying the content, if we want to push them up in the sort order, down in the sort order, create a new page, etc., etc. But you can see these are relatively straightforwardly labeled. And if you want to give that permission level access to it, all you have to do is check it. Now, each module has a select all for ease of access, and the whole tool has a select all for the same reason. My recommendation, though, is the very first thing that you do when you come to this module is click this scan button to make sure that the system has found all of the permissions it's supposed to have. And then once you've set them, you'll simply save that permission level, and then you'll be able to apply it to other staff members and give them those permissions. Now, that's basically it for the staff manager. I'm going to do a brief touch on the locked data system since we're here. So that's another module we have. And this one allows you to create a piece of data. So say we want this to be login credentials. And the data is a super secure password, right? We can apply a key to it, whether it's the demo key or the other one that we made earlier, and lock this data. When we lock that data, only somebody who has access to that key can unlock it. That way you could store client credit card information in there as long as only an administrator has the right key. Or you could store, any other sort of sensitive information. And it's encrypted on 2 levels. So it's so secure that nobody else is getting in there without those keys, basically. And we continually are updating that system to make sure that that data is continually even more secure. There will probably be a full video on the lock data manager, so definitely check that out. But otherwise, we're done with the staff manager. If I've missed anything or you have any questions, please feel free to email us at support@armortex.com. We really appreciate you guys consuming our content. You guys are the reason that we get to do what we love every single day, and we thank you for that. And as always, stay awesome.